Hello everyone, and welcome to the Readathons that I would love to participate in the month of September. There are a lot of Readathons. So let me tell you about some of my plans. I am missing a notebook. Hang on. I was missing one notebook. I have 4 notebooks here, all for September Readathons. There's a lot. I'm not going to go into all of the prompts for these. I will list hosts in the description box so you can check out the hosts channel and find, I'll try to link the announcement video on the hosts channel, the main hosts channel, and then in the description of the hosts video, it'll also list any co-hosts, moderators, things like that. Because you only get so much room in the description box. So, and there's a lot of Readathons. So I will list, if these are Discord only, I will list that it's on Discord, and I will put a link to the Discord of the Discord channel. And then some of them are being hosted on Discord, but there is still an announcement video. It'll make sense when I do it. So the biggest one that I think a lot of people are aware of is the one hosted by G from Book Roast, which is the Magical Readathon. So this one's full. There weren't very many pages. So what I'm going to do, and what I wanted to do for the last one, so at the beginning of 2024, I had a whole bunch of year-long Readathons I wanted to participate in. I've kind of just given up on a lot of those just because I am so far behind and I have become overwhelmed. And so I want to focus on the specific month-long Readathons for the rest of the year. And G's is one of them. Now, what I'm planning on doing, we'll see how it works. I was planning on doing this last time, but it didn't quite work out the way I wanted to because it just wasn't a priority. So for the Magical Readathon, there are several careers that you can go into, and this is the Fall Equinox. My priority is going to be Master of the Elements career, and this is an Order of the Crescent exclusive career path. So I have that written down that I need an O, a Q, a D in whichever class, and I have all the prompts written down. So as I read, then I will fill in, I'll find the book. For example, like right now I'm reading About Last Night by A.K. Landau. So let's say I was reading this, not now, but let's say I picked it up in September for the Magical Readathon. I would then read this, and then I'll go through the prompts and pick which prompt this fits with, and then fill it in that way. That is my plan for those, okay? And then once I complete the Order of the Elements, then my plan is to move on to the next one, which I have written down, Star Whisperer. And so I want to try to complete this just for funsies, that's it. So I want to try to complete it before the Spring Equinox. It's the spring one, right? Yeah, the Spring Equinox starts, if G continues to do this, in 2025. So that's just my goal. So right now, Master of the Elements, and then if I am able to complete each career path, there will be a wrap-up video for each career path. So that's this one, and it is just full. There weren't very many pages. Each page is a specific career, and then it goes into a second one, and this one I don't think is full. No, it's not full. So, and then in addition to the career paths, I also have Dragon Riding License, Apothecary Keeper, Bog Cataloger, and Sandship Engineer. And those are in order of my preference to get those licenses. So Dragon Riding would be my first preference. So those are my notebooks for the Magical Readathon. Next up, and these are in no particular order, okay? So Sufferatthon. There's another session for Sufferatthon. This one, I only have one prompt. And this one, and I'm also not going to name all of the hosts. I will list, well, we'll see if I can. The host for this one is Paige from Pages with Paige. She does have 3 co-hosts as well. So The very first prompt is Cruise Itinerary Booklet, and this is to read a short book, so a book that is 200 pages or less. Even better if it's about ships. I did find a short story that I am planning on reading when I am done with this. I need to charge my Kindle. I found an ebook copy. I don't remember the title of it, but I do know it's by Edgar Allan Poe. And I have never read a short story by Edgar Allan Poe. I've read, quote, The Raven, that poem, and a couple other poems, but I've never read a short story. No, I did. The Telltale Heart I read. That one's a short story. But this one's different, and it takes place on a ship. So I'm going to do that one. And then with Sufferatthon, the prompts get released as we go. So the only prompt I have is one for the Cruise Itinerary Booklet. Okay, the next readathon that I have written down is created and hosted by Chris from Chris's Corner. We are now on, this is the Phase Out Your TBR, we are on Phase 6, and Chris has stated this is a run of 9. So, any run of 9 works, so I have all the red prompts, the prompts, green prompts, blue prompts, and yellow, and yellow prompts all written down, and then again, as I read the books, then I will go through and find the prompts that fit the book. So, 1 prompt per book is what I'm planning on doing. The next 2 readathons I have are both hosted by Bridge4Books, and these are Discord only. So this is the one that I will have the Discord in the description box. One of them is, oh, there's a third one. I don't have that one. Let me pull it up. I do have a screenshot of it. I just forgot to write it down. Where is my other one for Discord books? There it is. Okay. So there's 3 by Discord books. There's one that's by the days, and this was kind of like a bingo board where it's 9 spots, so 3 rows of 3. And then the prompts are specific for the month. So for September, there's a Labor Day, there's a Wildlife Day, Be Late Day, so Tailgating Day, things like that. So by the days. There's also a reading rainbow chain. So let's say this is the first book I pick, which prompt number 1 for the reading rainbow chain is an author's debut. Just imagine this is a debut book for A.K. Landau, which it's not, but just imagine it is. Then when I finish this one, then I would go to prompt 2, and I have to link prompt 2 with prompt 1. So the prompt for number 2 is a book with one more word than the title of book number 1. So this one is About Last Night, 3 words. My next option for the reading rainbow chain would be a book with 4 words in the title. Okay, and then it just goes from there. The one I don't have written down that I just forgot about is the mini monthly challenge, which these are specific to actors and actresses. So there's 4 prompts for this one. We have one for Edward James Olmos, Meryl Streep, Robert De Niro, and Selena. S-E-L-E-N-A. Not Selena Gomez. This is a different Selena. I don't know who this Selena is, but so that's that one. I still have to write that one down, which I will. Okay. Those are the ones for Bridge4Books. I think there is another one too, but I'll come up to that one later. The next one that is hosted by Maggie's Books and Stuff is the Romance Readathon, specifically the Phantom. So this is divided into teams. I have decided to join Team Opera Singers, which our main tropes are enemies to lovers and forced proximity. The captains are Jen from the book Refuge and Monica from A Little Bit of Monica. There's 2 captains for each team. See, there's going to be a lot of captain stuff. I'm not going to have all the room. The goal is to defeat the Phantom from Phantom of the Opera. The goal is to defeat the Phantom. There's a couple of people who are playing as the Phantom. There's like 4 people there. And then this is a point-based, team-based readathon. And I don't have any prompts. Are there prompts? I don't think there are. Hang on. Okay, so the rules are to read a book, fill out the book log, rinse and repeat. So there's not, I don't see, and if I remember right, there's not specific prompts. It's just by books and your pages, and then bonus points if you complete certain aspects for your team. So Okay, if I'm remembering that correctly, things are starting to get muddled, but I do have things written down. It will make sense as I read and continue in September. Next up, I have Read Your Library, hosted by Booking It with Atya. I hope I said that right. I am sorry if I did not. This one is to complete 4 out of 6 challenge prompts and get a bingo. So, do I have a bingo written down? Okay, so there are 25 prompts, and those all fit a 5x5, so 5 rows of 5 prompts, bingo, and I want to get a bingo. This is to read books from your library, so to utilize your library. So there are 6 challenge prompts, 25 bingo prompts. So challenge prompts is like a book you've been meaning to read, a library classic, a staff pick, a library sale find, which I do have a couple library sale books, a book you borrowed and never returned. I've got several of those ones, and I've got late fees accruing. So, and a book about books. And then there's bingo prompts, but the thing is that they need to be books from the library. So that's that one, and I thought that what a great way to motivate me to get my library books read and returned to the library. Okay, so that's that one. Next, I have Starview Valley Readathon. I only know of the Discord channel for this one. I have joined, and this is team-based. I have joined Team Haley, Haley, and then we have prompts under, and it's 1 point per book, I believe. Anyway, so there's prompts for farming, and there are 30, 40, 50 prompts for farming. Underneath foraging prompts, we have 16 options. Combat prompts, we have 5 options. Mining prompts, we have 14 prompts, 4 of which can be stacked and combined into one. And then there's also fishing prompts, but there are no prompts for the fishing. It's a point per page that you read. Okay? Next, I have the Mystic Readathon. This one is hosted on YouTube from Nell Diamond. And if this one's a team one, I have vampire written. Oh, I swear I am struggling with this. Anyway, vampire. So read as many vampires. We have 8 prompts that qualify under 20 points each. Underneath 50 points each, there are 4 prompts. And yes, this is faction. So my faction leaders, I've joined Team Vampire, are Brittany Loves Reading, Tangible Reads, and Word and Third. And then I would rather be reading. So there's faction leaders. So it is faction. I've joined Team Vampires because vampires are my favorite monster. They've always been my favorite monster. Zombies are a close second. So yeah, but zombies were not an option. So vampires. Next up, I have the Goddess Complex. You need to read at least 100 pages per book on this one. And this one is hosted by Beatrice's Book Nook on YouTube. And there are 12 main prompts. And then we're into team prompts. And I have chosen to prioritize Team Aphrodite, I think is how it is said. And the hosts for that one, or the captains, are Read with Derb and the Booktrovert. There's also Team Artemis, Team Persephone, Team Athena, and that's all that I have written down. So again, I will list the hosts' video and channel in the description box. So you can check it out, get more information, and then check out to read each prompt individually to see if you want to participate. The next readathon I have written down is the Cozy Fantasy Readathon. The goal to this is to just read cozy fantasies. And I do have at least 2. I think 2. I think I have at least 2 on my TBR for September. Definitely 1. I think 2. So, so what's a cozy fantasy? It says it makes you feel warm and comforted, relaxed. It's an intimate character and it's very low stakes. You're avoiding challenges and difficulties, contemplates life and meaning in hopeful ways. And then there are 3 co-hosts. The co-hosts are on Instagram. So, and there are for the Cozy Fantasy 12 prompts for that. So again, when I read one book, I will go through each readathon and find a prompt that fits that book that I finished. Next up is the Seasonathon, which is hosted by Melanie from Completely Melanie. And then there are 2 co-hosts. We have Whimsical Narratives, which is Kim, and Pages with Paige, so Paige, who is the host of Sufferatthon. And the group read is The Obsidian Tower by Melissa Caruso. And then I have each class listed. So we need to do English 2010, English 2130, and so those are like the mandatory reads. And then you pick one book from the natural science with a lab, which the lab is to post a review. And then there are 6 prompts from the natural science category. We need to pick one from the non-Western culture category, which there's 8 prompts for that. And then we also need to do prompt, so the 5th official prompt, so there's going to be 5 prompts to do at least, and is immediate foreign language number 3, which is to read a translated book. I do have a manga up here, that white one there, that is translated from Japanese. So, okay, and then I have my September TBR written down. Moving on is the Adventureathon. This one is hosted by Christy from K-Beth Bookish. 2 co-hosts, we have Words from the Void and the Reading Wren on this one, so only 2 co-hosts. You have 4 paths to choose from. Each path has 2 prompts, and if I remember right, you can double up. To get the official rules, you'll have to watch the announcement video and read what the hosts put out. So for example, path number 1 is to read a book with a map or a book that is set in a real world location. So let's say I read this one. This does not have a map, but it is set in a real world location. This is not a fictional world. This takes place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So definitely in Pennsylvania, which is a real state in the United States. And then prompt number 2 for path number 1 is to read a book that has food or drink on the cover, which that one would not fit that prompt. So you have 4 paths to choose from, and I've just written them down in order. Whichever path I'm able to complete first is the official path that my character, when Adventureathon continues, is the path that my character will have taken. So let's say I read this one for the real world, and then let me grab another book. Okay, let's say this is my second book that I read, Like Cats and Dogs. Well, there's no food on the cover, and each path, it has the same prompt, which is a book with a map or set in the real world. So this one would work for any path. Path number 2 is character's weapon of choice on the cover, mist, fog, smoke, or steam on the cover, and then this one is 50% or more of the cover is white or gray, which this one is the one, see, I don't know if this one, but then the letters are white, so this one might be fudging it a little bit, but if I read this one and used it, then path 4 would be the one that I will have completed. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And then you have prompts for the mansion. There's a first floor of the mansion and a second floor of the mansion. And each one has 5 rooms. And so you're trying to get through the mansion, and then however well you do will affect whatever happens in the next round of the Adventureathon. There is also a creature feature bingo. There are 9 prompts for this one, and so it's things like to read a book that has a werewolf, a book with a zombie, a mummy, etc. So I have all those written down. I will try to do those. There are also the Dullahan prompts. So you have the main quest, which is to cause terror, chaos, and devastation. This is like a character prompt. And then, so we have stuff like that. So choose your skill and your ability or something like that. I have them written down wrong. And then there are side quests for the Dullahan. And this is off of a Google Doc that I got from watching the host's video. So watching, what's her name? I forgot. Christy's YouTube video. So I have those all written down, and I got those all from the Google Docs that were linked in her video. So I will do as best I can with that. The next readathon I have, and this one I'm looking forward to a little bit. If you read one book, you've completed the readathon. Sweet Valley September. I remember Sweet Valley, reading Sweet Valley books. There are Sweet Valley Kids, Sweet Valley... I looked to try to get a Sweet Valley Kids to kind of watch the characters age. There are no ebooks available that I could find for Sweet Valley Kids, and I think there's a middle school or something like that. Sweet Valley High, I was able to get an ebook for, and then there's also Sweet Valley University, and there's a couple of other little spin-off stuff. Sweet Valley follows two twins. We have Jessica and Elizabeth. Jessica is more outgoing. Elizabeth is more quiet and reserved. I identified more with Elizabeth while growing up when I read the Sweet Valley books, but I wanted to be more like Jessica. This one, oh crap. Oh, this is hosted by Kate from Mini Book Chaos on YouTube. I will list the channel in the description box. The goal is to just read books that are in the Sweet Valley world. Okay? That one is easy. Next, I have the Everbloom Academy. This one is hosted by Megan from Meg Reads. I hope I said that right. On YouTube, and this is a brand new readathon. She's planning on continuing this one, and we are on year 1, semester 2. She did say in the video along the lines of basing this off of G's, but a younger version. So this is more like middle grade style, middle grade type prompts, where G's is more adult. So we have the basic classes, which everyone does. There are 5 basic classes. We have the Arcane Ethics, Geography of the Everbloom Academy, History of Magic, Ancient Language, and Magibotany. I don't know. And then you have 3 departments that you can choose. I'm going to do the same one that I had mentioned, same thing that I mentioned in the previous readathon, which I don't remember which one it was. But you have Department of Magical Studies, Department of Truths and Full Cover-Ups, and your Department of Supernatural Investigation. Each one has the same... has a specific prompt. So each one you have to complete those 5 prompts. It doesn't matter which department you want to go into. So, and then you have specific for those. So if I decided to go into Truths and Department of Truths and Full Cover-Ups, my specific prompt for this department is Stealth, Evasion, and Concealment, which is to read a dark academia or a book that has a secret society or has words like stealth, secret, something like that in the title. Magical Studies is Communicating with Nature, and that's nature on the cover. And then we have the Department of Supernatural Investigation, which that one's the one that I want to prioritize, but I'm going to determine that after I complete the 5 primary prompts. Then the 6th book I'll pick up, I'll see which one it officially fits, but Supernatural Investigation is the one I'm leaning towards. Haven't made up my mind, and that prompt is to read a book that features thieves, spies, or a mystery thriller. That one is my priority. And then there are electives, and you need to choose one elective, and there are 4, and then the extra credit is a buddy read. The buddy read for this readathon is this book, and there is a 2nd book after this one, but this is The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane by Julia Noble. So I've added this one to my TBR. We'll see if I'm able to get to that one. And then she did say she'll have like some mini readathons that'll be like catch-ups. So it could be a week, could be however long she decides, where it's to try to wrap up and catch up on what you're behind on. So if there's some prompts you didn't complete, that you'll use that time to complete before the next official, like semester 1, what was it? Year 1, semester 1. So the next one will be year 1, semester 2. So that's the plan. The next readathon I have, the YouTube channel is Storm Reads. There is another person, but it's more of a blog. But Storm Reads is the booktube part of it. And she's hosting this with her friend. You have the option of doing a bingo board, which is 9 prompts. And then that's just for optional if you like doing prompts. Otherwise, the goal is to just read books with vampires. Simple as that. And as many vampire books as you can read, great. So that's that one. Easy peasy. Next is series Septembers. It's one September in a year. Series September. I found this one on Krista from Books and Jams on her channel, and her fellow host is Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand. There's, with this one, same thing as the Vamptember, an optional bingo board, but the goal is to just read a book that is part of a series. So first, middle, last, whatever it is, but there are some additional prompts. Some prompts include like mystery, historical fiction, fantasy, sci-fi, romance, etc. So you can use, she says you can interpret these however you want. Read a series that is part of that genre. So horror, read a horror book that's part of a series in a horror genre. Or maybe horror could be a book you're scared to pick up. So something along those lines. Romance could be a romance book or an author you love, a book series you're loving, things like that. So you can interpret it different ways. It doesn't have to be genre specific. I'm probably going to lean more towards genre specific. That's just how my mind is working, but we'll see. Next up, found on Katie from Introverted Reader, is the Introverted Reader Readathon. There are 8 prompts with this one, and it's just to read books. So like a book that you've left unread for too long, a middle grade, a friend pick. And some of these, for example, like the friend pick, they will cover a whole bunch. Some of these do pop up quite a bit. LGBT rep, book in a series, that would be perfect for the Seasonathon. So there are some things that will overlap across certain readathons, and just because one is, for example, if I read a book that's part of a series, I've got 2 readathons, but I read a standalone, well, that's not going to fit for Seasonathon, but it'll probably fit for a lot of the other readathons. So we'll see. Next up is Slayerfest, hosted by Brittany and created by Brittany from Rescues and Reads. 2 moderators, we have Effie from Pretty Purple Polka Dots and Jess from the Hexed Library. You need to read at least 50 pages per book in order for the books to count for the prompts. You have a character type, and I have these written in order of preference. And then, however, for example, let's say I pick up, well, you know what? I haven't even picked this one up. I still have this in front of me. Let's say I pick up The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane in September. I read this one, then I look to see, okay, my preference for my character is vampire. And I am on Team Vampire, so I need to read a thriller, suspense, mystery, true crime. There is a Discord. It is mandatory to participate in this, and I had to pick a team, so Vampire is my team. Okay, so that's that one. You also had the option for Team Werewolf, Slayer, Watcher, and Wicca. Okay? Weapon, you need to pick one, and this is the one that whatever is going to be. So we have Dagger, which is a short book. This book is pretty standard. Almost 300. It is over 300 pages, so I would not count this one for a short book. Crossbow, a friend rec. I would count this one because this was gifted to me from my mom, so I count that as a friend rec. Lowest rated on TBR would be your stake, and then you have Scythe and a rocket launcher. My preference is Dagger, so I'll try to find like a novella to read that's at least 51 pages. So we're going to, after you've done your character, which I'm going with Vampire, then you pick your weapon. And then this one's, there's a lot of options for this one. There's a lot of prompts to do for this one. Brittany did a really great job compiling this. We have sidekick prompts. They are, and then we have ones that are like 25 points a piece, 50 points a piece. Each one has 5 prompts, and it goes up to 100 point, 200? Yeah, 200 points. So you have all those. There's also the Big Bad Bingo board, which you would like to try to complete. And this one, there's 25 prompts for the bingo board, so just complete as many of those as you can. And then that fills up that one, but I'm still on Slayerfest. Brittany did mention, and I have a page reserved for that, this is why you need the Discord for the Slayerfest, is that as the month goes on, she will do release prompts, and so I have a blank page to write down whatever prompts Brittany releases on the Discord channel. You want to work with your team, and so it is definitely a team-based thing. So I've got a page specific for the prompt drops on Discord. Next up is Halloween-A-Thon. Okay, this is the last readathon I have to tell you about. It's the last one I was able to find. And I think I'm going to stop there. I haven't even counted how many of these readathons there are that I'm going to try to participate in and try to get books to match a prompt from each readathon. This one, there are a bunch of like people. So the host is Kelsey from Slimes and Slashers, and she has 4 co-hosts, and then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Monster Squad peeps, which are kind of like moderators, and then there are some hosts that are specific for Instagram, and there are 6 people on Instagram. So this one is BYOB, not bring your own booze. It's build your own board. So you can do kind of like a film strip where you roll a dice and then you walk your little person along it. And you can use the prompts provided. There's one that's already pre-filled out, and then there's one that you fill out. You pick the prompts and do it yourself. You can also go with the bingo board, or you can do a combination of stuff. So what I'm going to do here for Halloween-A-Thon, and again, this is the last one I'm going to tell you about, we are going to build my bingo boards. I am planning on 4 bingo boards. Now let me explain. This first one we're going to do is I've labeled as my easy book bingo. Book. You have activity prompts, watching prompts, and reading prompts. I am not going to do the activity prompts, mostly because with my health and my back pain and working in retail, I can't guarantee that I'll be able to do the activities. And also with seasonal allergies. My allergies are worse in the fall than they are in any other season. I may not feel like going. I think one of the activity prompts was to go to a fall festival or something like that. There is no way. One, I mean, I would like to, but that would be I have arthritis in my back. I have some discs that are bulging. It would just be too much to go and walk around and be on my feet. I just can't do something like that. You do not have to use, this was a caveat that Kelsey has said, you do not have to use her prompts. Yeah, let me know, are any of these readathons, I know a lot of people will be doing the magical readathon, but I know a lot of these prompts can overlap, like one book can work for 6 readathons or 3 readathons, something like that. So let me know which readathon you're participating in, what book you are excited to most get to for the month, or anything like that. Talk to me in the comment section below, and until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I will talk to you later.